Hey guys, it's Jake here, and I'm back with a follow-up video on the UVC lamps. If you haven't seen part 1, take a look at the end of this video to see how we tested a large sample of these lights that are being sold on the internet. Okay, for this video we're going to dive into the effectiveness, the safety, and ultimately the proposed dosage of UVC in order to inactivate a virus or to kill bacteria. Things like MRSA or SARS-CoV-2, the novel coronavirus. There's very little, if any, peer-reviewed research on the testing of UVC against the current novel coronavirus. And because of this lack of science available, most people are having to apply prior research from coronavirus relatives. For example, if we know it takes 2 minutes with wand number 1 to inactivate a coronavirus, scientists are fairly confident that the new coronavirus will act in a similar fashion as its relatives. So just keep that in the back of your mind. There was one study published in March 2020 that showed that 1.5 joules per centimeter squared was enough to inactivate the SARS-CoV-2 on N95 cloth mask material and elastic straps. This article has not been peer-reviewed yet, but it does bring up good potential and the point that the type of material you are using these lights on also matter. For example, the N95 mask are 4 layers of polypropylene filter material, and so it's a lot harder for the light to penetrate into all those little cracks and crevices, and those will take much longer dosage times than a flat surface like your cell phone. Okay, moving on, I did a ton of research on the topic, and we can easily get bogged down in the details and the math, but let's take a step back and look at it from a more simple standpoint. Each UVC lamp outputs a different level of UVC light, or a different strength. Think of it like a toaster oven. There are strong toaster ovens, and then there are weak toaster ovens. There's always a knob in your toaster oven that you kind of need to play with in order to find the right setting, the right amount of time, so that your bread toasts to perfection. And the heat coming from the toaster elements represents our UVC light strength output. The toaster knob represents how much time we are baking our phone, our keys, our N95 mask in an attempt to inactivate these viruses. The stronger the toaster heat output, the less time you'll have to run the toaster to reach the same level of toasting. Same thing with the UVC lights. The good thing about UVC lamps, though, is we can always overdo it and not worry about burning up our device like you would burn up a piece of bread. With that said, we do need to be careful about undercooking with UVC, because if we don't reach the minimum required dosage to inactivate a virus or kill bacteria, that would be a safety risk. So we must reach the minimum required time, if not more. Some of these times can be quite long, and I want to bring some of those times to surface for you. Many of the UVC wands that came with instructions such as 10 to 30 seconds, and given my testing, that doesn't seem to be holding up or true. Also, the top shelf versus the bottom shelf of a toaster oven affects your toasting time in the same way that a UVC light wand used close or far against your object is going to significantly reduce the strength of that output. So it'll take much longer to inactivate a virus if you use your wand, say, more than 1 inch away from your cell phone. So YouTuber Violet UV did a great breakdown on the dosage required for each wand. They're a chemical-free disinfection company based in South Jersey, and they also produce UVC light boxes. So give them a like and a subscribe, and I thank you for helping us out on this one. So they used a reference point of 50 millijoules per centimeter squared to kill 99.999% of MRSA. And why MRSA, you ask? Because it's one of the hardest viruses to kill, and it has been tested against the UVC lights. Other studies that have tested UVC light against the coronavirus, similar to the COVID-2, have shown to be inactivated in as little as 10 to 20 millijoules per centimeter squared. and those were done in lab test. Also, I'll put a link below to an article for Nebraska Medicine. They're using 60 millijoules per centimeter squared for their reference point to disinfect their N95 medical mask. That's their starting point. They also use some larger numbers just for extra safety. So with all this said, if we were to use 50 as our reference dosage, violet light UV shows us that it will take many seconds, if not many minutes, to reach the required target dosage to inactivate a potential coronavirus. So let's take a look at what those times would be here. So you can see why I created a UVC light box in my last video, so I can drop in my phone and keys and groceries and walk away. And the only thing you need to worry about with the light box is you do need to flip the items maybe once, twice, because UVC only kills on contact and it will not work in the shadows on an object, so you need the light to actually reach the object. Something to keep in mind, remember in the last test, all the tests were done at very close range, and you'll need to hold that wand at that given distance in order to reach the dosage numbers from the light meter last time. And another topic I want to discuss real quick is ozone versus non-ozone lamps. If you're going to be using UVC indoors, you need to get an ozone-free bulb, or at least don't go into the area and ventilate it before returning to the area. Ozone can be dangerous in that it affects your lungs. It can cause a cough. It can cause people to have asthma. It really aggravates your breathing. So keep that in mind. And then another thing people brought up in the last video is to cover all exposed skin from this UVC light, including your face, your hands, your arms, and most importantly, your eyes. I'll put a link below for the UVC SAFETY goggles that I tested. They work fantastic, and you can see in the last video it actually working against the meter, and they're very cheap. Another question that popped up is about food safety and UVC. It's my understanding that yes, it is safe to apply UVC to food and vegetables, and it's actually being used in many of the grocery stores and warehouses during the nighttime to clean off products. Now there's questions on the meter from the last video. It has been calibrated at 254 nanometers. It is certified to an accuracy of plus or minus 4%, and it's been determined to be a good measuring device for this type of application. It does not respond to normal white light, as some has indicated in the last video. Those were just UVC LEDs in one of the defective bulbs that should not be operating, but they were still operating, and that's why I deemed that bulb unsafe. Alright guys, if you made it this far, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for watching. I know it's not the most exciting topic, but I think it's an important one given the current situation. So if you found this helpful, please make use of those times and dosage charts. I don't want to have anyone that has a false sense of security with these UVC lights. If you appreciated this video, please give us a like and a subscribe. We'll talk to you later.